If you spend hours sitting every day, certain areas of your body are going to be stiff, weak, or tight. But with 5 simple moves, you can undo years of sitting, and I'm going to show you how to do just that today. My name is Will Harlow, and I specialize in helping people over the age of 50 to improve their mobility and stay independent. And today, I'm going to show you 5 brilliant moves to help you undo many years of sitting. Now, sitting in and of itself is not harmful. It's not going to damage your body. But the issue is most of us spend far too long in a sitting position, and over the years, that can accumulate. If you're spending 8 hours a day sitting, just add that up over the course of your lifetime. And in that position, certain muscles are going to be shortened and certain muscles are going to be lengthened and weakened. But luckily, we can undo those changes, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Now, before I show you these exercises, they're not suitable for everyone. Please do get checked out before you try them, and if they cause you any pain, just avoid them. Here are some of the big problems with sitting. Number 1, you lose strength in your quads and your glutes. Number 2, you can lose mobility in your hips. But number 3, and arguably the worst effect of sitting, is we lose mobility in our mid-spine. It's called the thoracic spine. And it's basically from the bottom of your neck to the top of your lower back here. All that area in between is your thoracic spine. And when you're sat like this all the time, it really makes that area stiff. Thankfully, there's one exercise that can undo all of those 3 problems pretty fast. It's called the squat and overhead reach. Here is how it looks. So you're going to stand with your feet about hip or shoulder width apart, a comfortable degree turned outwards just to allow you to squat down. And you're just going to start off by squatting down to a level that you find comfortable. Let's say for you, you can get down to here. That feels about right in terms of how far you can go. So what we're going to do for the full exercise is you're going to sink down into your squat like this. You're going to keep your back as tall as you can. And then with one hand, you're going to lift up overhead as high as you can go, and then come down and come out of the squat. Okay, that's the squat and reach. Looks easy, is actually really, really difficult. So again, I'll show you the other side. So you're going to squat down like this, keep your back nice and tall, and then lift that arm up overhead as high as you can. Hold it there for just a couple of seconds, and then come back up. Now, what this is doing is a couple of things. Obviously, it's mobilizing your shoulder as you lift your arm up. But the biggest thing this exercise is doing is it's forcing you out of this position into thoracic extension. Because if I go down like this and lift my arm, I have to be in thoracic extension to get my arm overhead. If I'm not in thoracic extension, I actually physically can't lift my arm any higher than that. But if I come into thoracic extension, my shoulder hasn't changed, but my arm is up overhead. So having that arm overhead is exactly what you need to ensure you're in thoracic extension. You don't have to do tons of these to make it work. What I'd recommend you do is go down into the squat, do your right arm, come back up, go down into the squat, do your left arm, and just repeat that 5 times over. Just a couple of seconds hold each time. If you can do that every day, just one time, it's going to make a massive difference over time and undo loads of the bad effects of sitting. The exercise I've got for you today is one that undoes the tightness in your hip flexors that can develop from years of sitting. It's called the standing hip flexor stretch, and it's so important because tight hip flexors can tug on the lower back and cause lower back pain, as well as changing the position of your pelvis, taking you from here almost into like a duck bottom. So if you want to undo a little bit of that by taking out some of the tightness in those hip flexors, here's what to do. You don't need any kit for this, but a wall works really well to hold on to. So you're going to find a wall, put 2 hands against it like this. I'll show you with my left leg first. So what we're going to do is you're going to tuck your left leg back like this, and you want your toes of the left foot to be on the floor here, okay? You want your leg nice and straight like this. Keep your back up tall. First thing I want you to do is just squeeze your bottom, okay? As if you're trying to grab a pencil between your bottom cheeks. So just squeeze that bottom whilst keeping that position. And then you can probably tuck a little bit further back. Then you're going to just dip down by bending that front knee ever so slightly and imagining you're trying to tuck a tail between your legs. So you've got your tail up like this. When we're here, we're going to dip down and tuck the tail between our legs by squeezing the glutes and rolling the pelvis under. Now, that sounds really confusing, but you will know straight away if you've got this right, because you'll feel tightness at the front of your leg here. It'll be deep at the front of the groin. And if you can feel a bit of a pull coming down the front of the groin there, you're bang on. You're right in the correct position. That means you're stretching your hip flexors, your rectus femoris and your psoas and your iliacus as well are all getting a really nice stretch in that position. Let me show you the other leg now as well, because that will be helpful. So if I tuck my right leg back, it's just the toes of the right foot on the floor like this. I'm going to take it back as far as I feel I can like that. Keep that nice and straight. Squeeze the buttocks there. And then bend that front knee ever so slightly, tuck the tail between the legs, and that's a really intense stretch at the front of the hip. That's your hip flexor being stretched. Once you've got that stretch, hold for 30 seconds. Just do one on each side, but try and come back to it about 3 times throughout the day. So do one in the morning, one at lunchtime, one in the evening, and then you can check the box for that day. It only takes a couple of weeks to undo years of hip flexor tightness if you're consistent with these stretches. It really doesn't take that much. You just have to work at it for a little bit of time. Now, hopefully that was useful. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. It's just underneath the video. And if you press it, you'll be the first to hear about our new videos when they come out. Let's have a look at the next exercise to undo years of sitting now. The next exercise I've got for you that undoes years of sitting is called the scorpion kick. And this is a wonderful way to improve your hips and undo some of the problems that sitting can cause there. And when we sit for long periods of time, as we've discussed, the hip flexors get tight, the glutes get weak, and this exercise can undo both of those problems. You just need your bed for this, or somewhere that you can kneel down quite happily with your knees. And you're going to go into this kind of position here where you're on all fours, and you want to have your weight evenly spread between your 2 hands and your 2 knees. You're going to rock most of your weight over onto one side, just so you can free one of your legs, and keeping your spine in about a comfortable neutral position. You're going to take this free leg and raise it up like this, as if you're trying to touch your heel on the ceiling, and then come back down. Now, the challenge here is to not get your back involved, because you could do that, but that's going to strain your lower back really, really fast. So you want to keep your back in neutral and then slowly lift that hip like that without letting your back kick in. You might not be able to get your leg perfectly straight in the air. You can see I'm struggling a little bit to do that without my back moving. That's totally fine, and just means that I've got a little bit of work to do there to loosen those hip flexors. So you're going to slowly come up like this and then back down, and the tempo is about 1, 2 up and 1, 2 down like that. If you can do 10 to 20 of those in a row, then swap sides. So take most of your weight over this way, free that leg, and then up 1, 2 and down 1, 2, keeping that spine nice and neutral all the way out, and trying to keep the angle between your knee and your shin the same all the way through the movement. Bit of a challenge, but a really, really good exercise to strengthen those areas. Give that a try, 3 sets on each leg. Try and do it a couple of times a week, and it will undo a lot of the problems that happen around this region. The next exercise I've got for you to undo some of the unwanted effects of sitting is one that strengthens your glutes. And one of the things that happens when we sit a long time is, because in a sitting position our glutes are lengthened, when we get up and we start trying to use them again, it's almost like the body's lost connection to that muscle group. It sounds like a funny thing to say, but we call this gluteal amnesia, which is a funny term, but just the fact that our brain doesn't know how to connect to those muscles anymore. And when you can't connect to your glutes, you leave your knees exposed, you leave your lower back exposed, and it can cause problems in the hip as well. Thankfully, with just one exercise, you can wake that muscle group up again and get them working once more. So here is exactly what you're going to do. It's called the standing fire hydrant. It's very simple to do. You're going to find a wall to just put your hands against like this and start off nice and tall like this. We're going to work one leg at a time. So I want you to rock over onto the leg that's going to support, and this is the leg that's going to work. just bend that knee just a little bit, probably about 60 to 90 degrees of bend. Keep your back straight, and then you're just going to take that leg out to the side to your maximum and then back in. It's a really small movement. You're not going to have tons of movement here if you're doing this correctly, because in order to isolate the glute, I'm not moving my spine or my pelvis at all. I'm not allowing this to happen, because I could lift this miles if I bend like that, but then it's not the glutes working. So we keep our back straight, we just take the leg out to the side, keep that knee bend constant, and keep moving it like that. You're going to work that gluteus medius that lives just below the belt line. And I want you to keep going until you get a working ache in that muscle. This is really important. You have to keep doing an exercise until you feel that muscle working if you want it to get stronger and to improve. So once you've got that, you're going to do the other side as well. So rock over onto your right leg this time, bend the left, keep the back straight, and then just out to the side and back in. You might find one side is weaker than the other. That's perfectly normal, but with some practice you can even them up and strengthen both sides. So keep going until you get that working ache. Have a 30 seconds to 60-second rest. Repeat 3 times on each side, and that's another great exercise to undo some of the problems that occur with sitting. Let's have a look at the last exercise now. The final exercise we're going to do today to help you undo years of sitting is one that targets your neck. And when you've been sitting for many years, what tends to happen is your head starts to drift forward on top of your shoulders, and we get this kind of chin poking position where the chin is almost leading the movement. It's like 6 inches in front of the body. Now, this is not good for the neck because it puts your facet joints in a position where they're squashed together. And that's been linked with more neck pain later in life. Luckily, this exercise can undo it. It's called the deep neck flexor wall slide, and it looks like this. You're going to stand with your shoulders on a wall, your bottom on a wall as well, and if you can, try and get your head on the wall like this too. You should have a nice gap between your neck and the wall there. That's totally normal. All we're going to do for this exercise is imagine someone's got a string attached to the top of your head, and they're pulling that string to slide your head up the wall without your head leaving the wall. So you're essentially making a double chin like this as you slide up the wall. Once you get to your maximum, like I can't go any further there, then you come back down to the starting position. So it's a tiny little movement. Let me show you again. So we're just sliding the head up the wall, tucking the chin in. You'll hit your maximum quite fast, and then you relax back down. Not very attractive, I know, and you can probably see 3 or 4 chins on me. But the idea here is to get these muscles here working, the deep neck flexors that live underneath the chin. And these are very, very important little muscles that are often neglected because they're so small. But if they're not strong, they allow this to happen, this kind of chin poking posture. So doing this exercise little and often works really well to strengthen them. And what you want to try and do really is do 10 in a row. Try and do it on 3 separate occasions per day without your head leaving the wall. It's a wonderful way to improve your posture. It undoes so many of the problems with sitting. You'll even find your shoulders and your mid-back improve as well. And I hope that's been useful. If you're going to give these exercises a try, please do drop a comment below and let us know which one you're going to have a go with. And I hope it makes a massive difference to your life. If you want more videos like this, you can see one right now on your screen, which I think you're going to absolutely love. So click on that if you want to keep watching, and I'll see you again on the next one.